Bruce Johnson, founder and CEO of BizScalers and the BizScalers Club. And today I want to talk to you about 5 questions you need to ask every day to be able to be more productive. 5 questions to ask every day to be more productive. Now, virtually every business owner and or entrepreneur that I encounter has a common complaint, and it's almost always something like this. I'm so overwhelmed. There are so many things that I need to do, and I just don't have enough time to do them. Does that sound familiar? Probably. Now, what's interesting is that very few business owners and entrepreneurs are actually doing anything significant to change that. They just like continually complaining about the thing that they really don't like, that they're overwhelmed. So let's fix that today. And the way I want to fix it is I want to give you a set of questions that can help you make some changes in your life. Now, I could give you some tactics, I could give you some strategies, but instead I want to focus in on questions. Why? Because the quality of the questions that we ask influences the quality of the answers we get. So if you want to come up with better strategies and tactics, it ultimately begins by asking better questions. And I want to give you 5 great ones today. Now, the cool part about doing this is that finding time and being more productive in your day and in your week usually isn't about finding 2 hours or 5 hours all at one time. It's usually finding little pockets of 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes that over the course of the day will end up equaling that amount of time of an hour to 2 hours a day. And an hour or 2 hours a day may not seem like a lot, but here's the cool part. An hour or 2 a day over the course of a year, depending on how many hours you work and how many weeks you work, usually works out to about anywhere between 5 and 10 additional work weeks per year. So can you imagine that? If you could add an extra 5 to 10 weeks onto every year, would that be worth it? Absolutely. So let's take a look now at these 5 critical questions that can help you become better at being more productive, to help you find that time so you can get out of that sense of overwhelm. And by the way, if you want to go deeper on this and you want to learn more about how to grow and scale your company faster, make sure you check out the BizScalers Club at scalingclub.com. So here we go. Question number 1. Which of these, as you're looking at your to-do list for the day, whether they're 20, 30, 40, 50 items or more, I don't know how many items are on your list. When you look at them, which of these will drive growth? Which of these will drive growth? Every day you look at tasks and you start doing them, but will they actually drive growth? And if you want to grow and scale a company, can you imagine the impact that would happen if every single day you were looking at your list and you're asking the question, which of these activities out of the 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 of them will actually produce revenue? Which one of these will actually help drive the growth of my company? If you want to grow and scale, you have to ask that question on a daily basis. Not occasionally do I focus on growth, but every single day I'm focusing on what will drive top line growth. Now, it could be a strategy issue, it could be R&D question, it could be making phone calls, it could be a marketing issue, it could be a sales issue. But when you're looking at those items, which ones of these will actually help produce revenue? Which will drive growth? Ask that question every day, and the cumulative effect of those over the course of the year will be significant. Just imagine what would happen if the 200 plus days that you work a year, you were focused in on growth. Would you grow at 20, 25, 30, 50% or more? Probably. So ask that question every day. Which of these will drive growth? Or during the course of the day, you could be saying, is this activity actually driving growth or not? Not that every activity has to drive growth, but if you could have 30, 40% of your day focused in on growth activities, that'd be really significant. So that's question number 1. It's a game changer. Number 2, who else can do this? Who else can do this? I'm always fascinated by how many business owners and entrepreneurs spend an awful lot of their day doing activities that they really don't need to be doing. Who needs to create a spreadsheet? It's probably not you. Who needs to respond to this? It's probably not you. Who needs to be engaged in this conversation or leading this meeting? It's probably not you. Instead of thinking about me doing all these activities, if you could simply look every day and say, okay, who else can do this thing? And you could then delegate or outsource those things. Imagine how much more productive you would be. It'd be significant. So become a master at this. In fact, in the BizScalers Club, one of the classes we have, one of the courses is all about delegation mastery. And one of the frameworks that we use is a weekly planner. And in that weekly planner, there are a series of boxes. One of the key boxes right in the center is, what can you delegate? Every day and every week, you need to be thinking about what needs to get off my plate. If you did that, it would automatically make you a better leader, you'd create more leverage, and you'd be more productive. So question number 2, who else can do this? So which of these will drive growth? Who else can do this? Question number 3. Will this serve me well? Will this serve me well? So as you're looking at your list of things that you need to do, ask, will it serve you well? Now, what serves you well? Well, you have some dreams and aspirations for you personally and professionally. And when you're looking at that list of tasks, instead of assuming I have to do all those things, look at those and say, which ones of these will actually serve me? Which ones will help me get to where I want to go this month, this quarter, this year? And if it doesn't serve you well, don't do it. Which of these will serve me well? Or during the course of the day, you could be asking a task, asking yourself a question, does this task actually serve me well? And in the middle of it, you might go, no, it's not. And you just need to stop that. That will automatically make you more productive. If every day you ask, will this serve me well? Or is this serving me well? If you kept asking the question, who else can do this? And does this drive growth? And those are all 3 game-changing kinds of questions. Let's go to question number 4. Am I choosing to do this in order to avoid X? Am I choosing to do this right now, or am I choosing to do this today because I want to avoid doing this other activity? Chances are you're going to find there are a couple yeses there. And you're looking and saying, well, I'm trying to avoid confronting Mary about something. Well, if you're avoiding that, chances are you're thinking about it, you're wasting time. You're not only not productive, but Mary's not productive. You're doing something that you like doing, but you're not necessarily doing the most productive thing. Just like when you're asking, does this serve me well? I'm assuming that, putting off things doesn't serve you well, or, just reading a lot of email. So make sure as you're going through the day, you're saying, am I doing this thing right now? Am I, reading the newspaper or reading something online because I'm avoiding having to confront doing this? Maybe there's some strategy work you don't want to make, or maybe there's a phone call you don't want to make. Maybe there's some legal work you need to do you're putting off. Just ask the question, am I trying to avoid something? Because as you know, avoidance doesn't solve anything. It just prolongs the problem. So whatever you're putting off, do that thing and it'll make you more productive. That's question number 4. And then question number 5 then you want to ask is, how long should this task take? How long should this take? And then can I beat that? At this stage in your life, you're probably pretty familiar with Parkinson's law, the basic idea, of course, being that work expands for the amount of time allocated to it. So if you're sitting there and you have to write a letter and you don't set an end time, it might take you an hour, let's say, an hour and 15 minutes. But in reality, you should have been able to complete it in 30 minutes. If you had simply said, I've got 30 minutes to get this letter done, you'd probably get it done around 30. Could be 25, could be 35, but you'd probably get it done around that amount of time, which would automatically save you a bunch of time if you had not set the end time. Now, my guess is you understand Parkinson's law. You've thought about it. I didn't ask a knowledge question. I asked an application question. Like this week, did you look at your task and say, this one should take me 30 minutes. This should take me 15. This should take me an hour and 30 minutes. This should take me 45 minutes or not? Because I've looked at a lot of business owners and entrepreneurs' timesheets over the years, and almost no one does that. They're far more reactive. I need to get this done, and then they just get that thing done, and they never think about the start and stop time. So have you thought about stop and start times? And then once you figure out what you think it should take, let's say I think this could be done in 30 minutes, then try to beat it. Make it a game. Can I get it done in 20 or 25 minutes? This thing should take me about an hour. Well, if I can get it done in 45 minutes, I just saved an extra 15. Can I beat that time? If you'll start, being able to create both the start and stop times for activities, I think you're going to find that as you do ask that question all day long, you're going to get better and better and more efficient and more effective. So those are 5 critical questions. 1, which of these will drive growth? Great question. And if you're during the day, will this task actually drive growth? Second question, who else can do this? Ask that all day long. And if you're doing something, should I be the one doing this? Maybe I should delegate this away or outsource this now. Will this serve me well? In other words, will this help me get to where I want to go? And if it's not going to serve me well, I need to stop doing that thing. Am I choosing to do this activity right now because I'm trying to avoid doing something else? Whatever you're trying to avoid, stop avoiding it, get it done, move on. And then how long should this take? And once you understand what that number is, then can you beat it? If you'd ask those 5 questions on a daily basis, I think there's no question in your mind or mine that you would actually end up being more productive that day and you'd get a lot more done. So is it worth taking the time to ask these 5 questions? Probably. In fact, I would actually encourage you to write them down, put them up on a sticky or put them up on a 3x5 card or type them out and put them up someplace or put them in an Evernote note and look at them on a regular basis, because these 5 questions can actually be game changers for you. Stop, saying to everybody, I'm just overwhelmed. Let's do something about it. Ask great questions, which will ultimately lead to better behaviors, which will ultimately get you out of overwhelm. So hopefully you found this helpful. If you did, pass this along to some other business owners and entrepreneurs that you know who could benefit from it. If you're watching this by video or you're listening by podcast, if you haven't subscribed yet, hit the subscribe button, because my commitment to you each and every week is to bring you actionable ideas that can help you grow and scale your business faster. And finally, if you're interested at all in finding out to get some help to be able to help you grow and scale your business faster, make sure you check out the BizScalers Club at scalingclub.com, scalingclub.com. So until next week, to your accelerated success, Bruce out.